Hi everybody, I have another finger puppet tutorial to share with you today. We are working on our fourth out of a series of 6 weather finger puppets, and today we're going to work on our hot weather finger puppet. So for this project you'll need a finger puppet base, and I picked it up from achildsdream.com. You'll also need some I just showed you a sneak peek at the ones that we already made. You'll also need some felt and some yarn and some embroidery thread. So I'm just making sure that this piece of felt is cut so that it's just the right size to fit our finger puppet base, and I'm going to mark on the felt where I want the letters to be, and I'm going to just pencil in the word hot. So I'm going to take my embroidery thread, which is nearly the same color as my felt for a tone-on-tone look, just to match the other ones that I've already made. And I'm going to do a simple back stitch to embroider the word hot. And my thread just came out, so I just need to rethread it and continue working on the embroidery, which takes a little time actually. These finger puppets for this series took about 40 minutes to do, and usually they take only about 20 minutes or less. So I just showed you what it looks like when it's all done being embroidered, and I don't tie off the edges. I just glue them directly onto the finger puppet base so that none of the threads come undone. And so I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the front, and then I'm just going to wrap it around. Now, since I already cut it, I don't need to trim off any of the edges, but I will do slits along the top so that when I add glue right under the neckline, I can fold over all those pieces of felt so that they tuck in nice and tight right underneath the head. So it just takes a minute to get this all in place. When you're using hot glue, it cools and dries very quickly, and it holds very well. This stuff is very durable, and the finger puppets that we've had for years and years have not fallen apart at all, except for little accessories might get torn off here and there, but for the most part these have held up really well. So I want to give this finger puppet a little cape, and I'm doing it in this this color, which is only a bit of a contrast to the red. It's like an orange red, so I think it will go nicely with the red underneath. And I'm giving him a superhero cape. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in the back, and then I'm going to show you how to do these flaps. Actually, the whole shape of the cape is more like a wing rather than it being normally rounded the way I normally do it. And then to kind of have it look like he's flying, you just have to glue back a small little piece of it just to give it that open look. So now I want to give him some hair, and I'm trying to make each of these finger puppets in this series unique, but I still want them all to go together. So I've got 2 of them as boy puppets and then 4 of them as girl puppets, in part because it's actually a little bit challenging to do boy hair, and so I just did 2 of them as boys. So something else, when you're choosing yarn to do the hair, it's easier to do the hair if you're using a bulky yarn, and this black one that I have is actually a worsted type of yarn, so it's like more tightly woven versus the bulky, which is a looser weave, and it's just easier to kind of ruffle up and make the head of hair look a little bit fuller. So I've got all these tiny little pieces here that I'm just trying to glue on, and they glue in place pretty quickly. The only thing with boy hair, which is more challenging than doing girl hair, is that generally I don't put like a little hat or a cap on their head. And so you just want to make sure that all of the head is covered and that none of the glue is showing. Okay, so I'm just about done. Going to trim it all up and just kind of ruffle it up as best as I can just to make the hair look a little full. And to be honest, he looks a little bit like Harry Potter. So I'm just going to put these little buttons on the side of his cape just to give him a little detail and set him apart from the other finger puppets in this little series that I've got going on here. And my kids really, really enjoyed this set of finger puppets, in part because they're a little bit different than the other ones that I've done. They're a lot shorter since their capes and their tunics are shorter and just at the base of the finger puppet rather than longer the way I normally do. And they haven't really cared too much that I've embroidered the different like weather and temperature things on their tunics. They just like to play with a new set of finger puppets. But what's kind of cool is that you can put 2 or 3 on this little wooden plate that I've got here that says weather. So if it's like a hot sunny day, then you could put the little yellow girl that says sunny and the little red boy that says hot on this little wooden plate here. So if you'd like to see the complete playlist of all of our weather finger puppets, you can click here for that playlist. And if you'd like to see how we did the lettering for this wood plate here, you can click here for that tutorial. And if you're on a mobile device, I will add the links to those videos in the description below. And if you'd like to see more pictures, you can check out my website at pepperandpine.com. All right, thanks for watching.